We have a business account with Bank of America that we've had for like 7 years.
Jesus.
And never had any issues with it. And I heard about what they were doing to the J6ers. Like, I remember reading about Bank of America decided to proffer information about them to the government without the government even having to come to them with a warrant, right? That there existed this relationship there. And it was in my mind that I needed to switch banks. But I have so much stuff going on and I'm so busy. It just like wasn't on the priority list. So anyways, needless to say, we had the account for a long time. And the way that this happened, like nobody contacted me, nobody from the bank reached out. The card just stopped working, the bank card. And then I tried to log into the online banking, couldn't log in. My username, it said like didn't exist. So I'm like, what is going on? Go down to the bank to the physical branch location. And then they tell me, you saw the video where they say that the risk department has made a decision to, quote, sever the business relationship. And they don't tell you why. She put me in the back and put me on the phone with the risk department because, like, I understand the branch employees, they're not making these decisions. They probably don't, like, she probably doesn't know why this is happening. So I get on the phone with the risk department and they don't give me any information either.
Okay.
Like, they wouldn't tell me what happened, why they made the decision. They wouldn't even say how much money I had in the account.
Well, just at
that moment.
That's illegal.
Well, first of all, just a ballpark. How much do you have in the account? Just a ballpark?
Well, there was a substantial amount that I was like waiting to go through. I had a check waiting to clear at that point, but not a lot. I mean, I don't keep a lot of money in there anyways. We use it mainly to pay bills that we know are coming up and like that we have every single month, and we have a lot of auto pays set up. So
suffice to say, it was significant to you.
Yeah, of course. Well, obviously, you're in independent journalism and filmmaking, and you're like mostly self-funding. Every amount matters. Every little bit is significant.
Are you talking to an attorney right now?
No.
Okay.
I don't really. I don't know if what is going to come of pursuing it because they've done this to so many people.
Radix, I work in law as it is. I was in corporate and now I do some personal injury law, but I can tell you right now that this is a RICO case.
Really?
It crosses state lines. Their headquarters is in North Carolina. You are not in North Carolina. They're doing this to multiple people. The Kansas City Attorney General has a case against them. And there are multiple other cases against Bank of America for exactly this behavior.
What about tortious interference?
That could be tortious interference as well. It crosses state lines, and it is an obvious conspiracy to deprive people of their rights.
Well, and so weird things have happened too. Like, they indicated on the phone to me. So after this blew up on Twitter, which it has, and I had no idea that was going to happen, Bank of America started calling the phone, and they indicated that like their executives are looking into it, but then they also said other parties were involved and they wouldn't say who the other parties were.
Stop right there.
Wait. I want this one.
Okay.
Give me.
All right.
Give me.
Take it.
So, Radix, we live in Michigan. Your other party is Dana Nessel's office. I will I will bet you a steak dinner on it. She is allegedly known to be a mean, vindictive drunk.
Well, I know she's a nasty individual, that's for sure.
Yeah, she is known. She is allegedly known. I'm going to throw the word allegedly in there, to be a mean, vindictive drunk. I'm connected to our county politics, and I know a lot of our representatives, and I talk to them. I know a couple of people who went to school with Whitmer. There are other rumors out there that are also true.
You talking about the stretching part?
No, why wouldn't you?
No.
That stop. That's cruel.
Okay, I gotcha.
Anyway, your other party in this is, I would bet you a steak dinner that your other party is Dana Nestle's office.
Correct.
I have no idea. The whole thing has been super weird. The way that the whole thing happened and their refusal to give even now any information, even though they've been calling and they claim they're like investigating this and whatnot, and that
This
it's
is
been
my advice.
escalated to their executives.
This is
they
my advice to you when they call you.
yes.
You answer the phone, be polite, be nice, and then you say, well, I'm basically talking to some lawyers. Be prepared for a lawsuit and motions for discovery. And we're putting you on warning right now not to delete information, texts, what have you.
Okay, I have to stop you.
All right.
First of all, I'm not an attorney.
We're not attorneys. I'm just saying that's something you can't say.
I'm a paralegal, which means I'm the guy who writes all of the paperwork.
Yes.
But I am around it enough to know that you need to have your lawyer first before you can start saying stuff like that.
Fair enough.
Otherwise, they'll run you over like a Mack truck. I would just simply tell them, thank you for the information. I will be speaking to an attorney.
Correct.
And leave it at that. And then let the attorney, but he's right about the discovery.
Yeah.
That's what will come next. You get an attorney, you go through the discovery process, and they have to give you every communication regarding that suspension of your account.
Yeah, and they'll try to settle immediately.
Oh yeah, they will.
They'll like that because they don't want to do the discovery because it's going to point to a smoking gun.
Well, it's so weird because they have now restored the account. I shit you
not. No, when did that happen?
Well, I was informed just today that was done while they're investigating, while the executives, quote unquote, are investigating. I asked if law enforcement was involved and they said no. But they also said other parties were
I'm telling you,
I don't know if there were other parties investigating. It's just really bizarre. The whole thing has been really weird.
Well, we've been canceling people's, freezing accounts for like drug dealers and stuff for decades.
I was involved in some of that when I was in the military.
But the thing is,
after your money,
if there was not a Department of Justice subpoena or order or warrant or whatever from a federal court, and these banks are, debanking without any of those, that's a huge big no.
Yeah, we were going after the North Korean counterfeiters in 2000 and 2001. They're the ones who created the super note, the $100 bill that you couldn't tell the difference between ours.
Oh, I remember that. Okay.
Yeah, I was on that crew, and we were basically hopping from country to country, nailing down their banks, and we had to have permission from the DOD and the State Department to freeze those North Korean accounts in those foreign banks. So for Bank of America to arbitrarily do this to a citizen who has no criminal record, while terrorists require DOJ and State Department permission.
Wow.
See where I'm going.
Do they debank child molesters?
No.
All right.
Really?
Yeah. Listen, there's mass murderers out there.
This is so bizarre. Yeah. I mean, it's just like really insane. And I honestly don't think that they would have restored the account had this not blown up on them.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
And because it is a big deal, by the way, debanking is insane. It's a really horrible thing to do to people because everybody has to transact business.
It's
and
an ideological weapon.
Yes.
Everybody has to pay bills, sort of like utilities. Like you can't take away somebody's ability to do that. It's not really right. And my concern too is that they're pushing us really hard to move into a cashless society. They really want central bank digital currencies. And my concern is that this kind of thing is going to be more. It's going to be a lot easier for them, but they can just flick a switch and shut off your ability to do anything. Like,
correct.
You know what I mean? That's what they want. Like that is the goal.
Exactly what they're doing. They already have it in China. It's partially in place in Korea, from what I understand.
They have it in Canada.
Canada is close.
Yeah,
not quite there yet.
There's a whole assload of guys who had their bank account shut down for driving in that convoy.
The convoy, yeah,
the Ottawa. the Ottawa truckers. But this all emanates from Davos and the WEF. This all of this debanking and centralized cash thing is coming out of them. They're the little think tank for this, which means that all of our governments are dancing to the tune of a privately funded, privately owned organization in a foreign country. There's a definition for that, and the word is treason. And in the United States, it's 18 U.S. Code 2381. That's going way further down the rabbit hole that we're in right now with debanking, but that's the direction that it ends up going.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your account is restored now.
So that's what they say. My account is now quote unquote restored, but I'm not going to be staying there. That doesn't change what happened.
No.
The only reason that they did that is because so much heat is on them right now for the debanking, and they don't get away with it by after the fact, when they've been embarrassed so much restoring it. They weren't going to do that. Like when I was in there and physically in the bank, nobody would give me any information. They wouldn't tell me why this decision had been made after 7 years and having no issues. And if an issue had occurred, why somebody at the bank didn't just call me or like reach out to me, which would be like what they normally do. Because they were trying to tell me that they were like, today they're trying to say they were concerned about like possible fraudulent activity, but not coming from me, they said. And it's like, what?
Oh, right.
Then from who and from what? And they won't.
Yeah,
they wouldn't tell me.
Again, I was operating against a terrorist government and still needed DOJ permission to do that kind of thing.
The minute they said that to you, then they probably generated a suspicious activity report, because I believe every bank is required to fill one of those out,
and it goes right to DHS.
And it goes. So now you have if they did that, now you're on a criminal bad boy database.
Wow.
She's already there. I guarantee.
Oh, I figure I'm already there just for other reasons.
So Radix, one of the things that I know from corporate law is what probably happened here, given the description you've given me, is some mid-level manager at the headquarters in North Carolina went and saw the initial, oh my gosh, I've been debanked from you, and went, she's nobody, forget it. And it blew up in their faces, and somebody higher than that mid-level manager called him into the office and put him on the carpet and said, "What hast thou done, and why hast thou fuckest our shit?"
Yeah.
And that guy had to backpedal and undo all of the things that he had done, but now they can't unring the bell.
Nope.
Right. And I also recorded numerous conversations prior to today. Like yesterday, I was on the phone with their customer service people in their risk department again, and I recorded like a 5-minute conversation where they were incredibly rude to me, wouldn't give me any information about. They were telling me that the account had been terminated. I said, why? They said, Bank of America reserves the right to terminate and sever the business relationship at any point for whatever reason. We don't have to give a reason. That's in the terms of service. And so that's literally like the canned response that they give you, is that that is part of their terms of service, is that they reserve the right to terminate the relationship at any point without having to give a reason. So they were telling me that. They wouldn't tell me how much money was in the account at that time. And then they wouldn't tell me when. They said I was going to get a quote check in the mail, and they would not give me a time frame of like when I could expect that.
There's a word for that. It's called theft.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was what they were initially doing. They were holding my funds. And then obviously it blew up on them, and somebody else is involved now. And they're like, well, I guess we can't do that. This looks really bad. We better try to cover it, sweep it up, before it gets any worse for us.
I was going to remind you to screenshot everything, but I don't need to do that. I have seen the quality of your work already. I'm sure you've got all of that covered.
Yeah. Yeah. And listen, well, first of all, banks have to have FDIC insurance from the Fed.
Yep.
Without that, they pretty much cannot do business. So we need to start pressuring our lawmakers to put some laws on the books for these banks, that if they're going to debank people, that's fine. You have the right to do business with whoever you wish. But now the federal government is going to pull your FDIC insurance. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
I wonder how that would fly.
Everyone would,
because the
there'd be a
Fed
run on
would
that
want-
bank. Everyone would jump ship. They'd go out of business over fucking night.
Well, and these banks, like Bank of America, they are predatory institutions that have
Yeah.
been, given taxpayer money. Like they've all been too big to fail. They get their little bailouts, back in 2008 when everybody else had their homes being foreclosed on and they didn't get bailed out. No, these banks do. And then they turn around and they want to debank the American people who bailed them out. That's ridiculous and disgusting.
Yeah,
Correct.
That's exactly what's going on. And it's, for the record, it is not the little peons that are in the banks. I'm sure you know this, but I want everybody out there to hear it. It's not the little peons behind the counter. Leave
No.
those poor people alone. It's the mid-level managers. It's the guys. It's the HR department. It's the people who cross-dress and have
Yep.
blue hair in the marketing department and the legal department in North Carolina at their headquarters that are doing this. So cut the
Yeah.
poor guy behind the desk a little bit of slack. I watched your video. I know you did that. That was very classy.
Yeah, I don't know if I would
Very
be that
classy of you.
gracious. I would be a rage fucking asshole.
You're an asshole.
Oh
then.
no.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
You're Green Beret veteran, Ferrex.
I'm a really nice lady. I try to be nice to everybody except the FBI.
Yeah.
If I think you're a bad person and that you've done something wrong, then I will come at you hard. But generally, I'm a pretty nice person.
I had the FBI show up at my door. I laughed at them and told them to go away.
Oh yeah, I've been notified by the FBI as well. So
Well, I'm sure I have my assigned federal agent
I know you
listening.
do. Yeah. I mean, I don't know that you do, but I'm sure that you do because of what you did, especially with the
Yeah. And like
the Whitmer thing.
in all honesty, like if I was to come across information for some crazy mass casualty attack, I would hand it over because I don't want to see innocent people get killed.
I know who I would hand it over to, though. I wouldn't go to the federal government with
But
that.
for the
I'd
most
take it
part-
to the county.
For the most part, I'm staying away from that crap. I'm just reporting, in an indirect way here on the show, so everyone who watches this can be educated on exactly what's taking place. Because we're not hearing about this in mainstream media
Yeah.
because they've been bought and paid for.
Yeah. Your story caught like wildfire, Radix. It really took off.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, I don't know why. And
This
it's
is
so
fucking
weird too.
unjust.
It is an injustice, and like they did this to one of Trump's lawyers, John Eastman, just recently. It was Bank of America and USAA. Them two, they debanked him, and so like little Radix Verum with a less than 14,000 follower YouTube channel, small independent filmmaker and journalist, is getting the treatment of like a Trump lawyer. And that's where you go, okay, that's weird, right? Why am I being treated like I'm this big threat to these people?
The mistake they made in this case, I think, is that generally speaking, and that I know of, you are well liked and respected in the interwebs community. And when everybody saw that happening to you, they're like, oh no, they did.
Yeah.
Oh no, they did.
Oh, yeah,
That's so funny.
I mean, from
Yeah.
the moment you put that first, I think it was, I saw it on Nice Crew.
Hmm.
I saw it first on Nice Crew.
Mhm.
From the moment you put that out, and it had like a 45 seconds ago timer on it, to an hour later, it was like everywhere. And I'm like, oh, this is blowing up. And
Yeah.
Pop and I had already planned this show a week before because of what had happened to me at a Speedway station a week ago, a week ago today. So this is pure coincidence.
You dropped right in our lap.
And you dropped right into our lap with this one. We're like, oh.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the meat caser box.